year was 2015. Millions of players were watching. Streams were live across YouTube and Twitch, and Five Nights at Freddy's 4 had just released. Fans believed this was the end, the final chapter, the game that would finally answer everything. When the final mini-game played, showing a child being lifted into the open jaws of Fredbear, metal teeth snapping shut with a sickening crunch, Markiplier shouted the words that would echo through the internet for years. Was that the bite of 87? But it wasn't. What players witnessed wasn't the bite of 87 at all. It was something earlier, something far more personal, and something far more devastating. It was the bite of 83, the moment that shattered a family, closed a diner, and planted the seeds for every tragedy that followed in Five Nights at Freddy's. To truly understand a FNaF, to understand why the story unfolds the way it does, you have to go back to 1983 and to the place where everything began. Five Nights at Freddy's 4 was different from every game before it. There was no security office, no cameras, no paycheck at the end of the week. Instead, you were placed inside a child's bedroom, small, dark, and fragile. Every sound mattered. Every breath could mean death. But the real story wasn't told during the nights. It was told between them. Between each night, the game presented 8-bit mini-games that looked simple, but carried devastating meaning. Each one displayed a countdown. 5 days until the party. 4 days, 3 days, 2 days, 1 day, 0 days. This wasn't anticipation. It was a warning. Every minigame showed a child growing more frightened, more isolated, and more tormented as the days ticked down towards something inevitable. Before Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, before the toys, before the fun times, there was Fredbear's Family Diner, a modest family restaurant created by Henry Emily and William Afton. Fredbear's wasn't flashy, it was local, it was warm. Parents brought their kids for pizza, cake, and birthday parties. The stars of the diner were two golden animatronics, Fredbear the bear and Spring Bonnie the rabbit. What made them special was spring-lock technology. These weren't just animatronics, they were wearable suits. By winding internal springs into place, the metal endoskeleton could be compressed against the suit's walls, allowing a human performer to climb inside. It was revolutionary technology, but it was also incredibly dangerous. If a spring lock failed, the metal components would snap inward with immense force. If multiple locks failed at once, there was nothing anyone could do. Later, training tapes would describe spring lock failures as catastrophic, resulting in impalement, crushing, and instant death. But in 1983, these suits were still in use, and one child understood how dangerous they really were. The protagonist of the minigames has no officially confirmed name. The community calls him the Crying Child, and that name tells you everything. He is always crying, always afraid. His sprite shakes constantly, tears streaming down his face. He wears a striped shirt, blue shorts, and brown shoes. His room is filled with plush toys: Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. When you approach them, text appears on screen saying, "These are my friends." He loves the characters as ideas, but the real animatronics terrify him. When he approaches Fredbear's stage, he collapses in fear, curling into a ball and sobbing uncontrollably. This isn't simple childhood anxiety. This is trauma. The minigames show 5 days of escalating torment. On the first day, the crying child is locked in his bedroom. The Fredbear plush speaks to him, saying his brother locked him in again. The child bangs on the door, but no one comes. He gives up and cries. The next day, he watches TV as a Fredbear and Friends cartoon plays. His older brother jumps out from behind the television wearing a Foxy mask, scaring him on purpose. On the third day, other children mock him. One girl tells him she heard the animatronics come to life at night. On the fourth day, the teasing continues. Kids mock him about his birthday party. Everyone knows he doesn't want it. Everyone thinks it's funny. On the fifth day, the bullying escalates to something far worse. The crying child is locked in a dark back room surrounded by animatronic suits. He is completely alone. Then the party arrives. 0 days. 4 teenagers surround the crying child, wearing masks of Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. The Foxy mask belongs to his older brother. They mock him. They grab him, they lift him into the air. The child screams, begging them to stop. They ignore him, they carry him toward Fredbear. The brother laughs and says the child wants to give Fredbear a big kiss. They shove his head into the animatronic's open mouth. There's a pause. Then, metal snaps shut. A crunch echoes across the screen. The crying child survives the bite briefly. He lies in a hospital bed. Machines beep steadily. His brother speaks softly, apologizing, asking if he can hear him. The Fredbear plush appears one final time and says the child is broken, then promises to put him back together. The crying stops. A flatline sounds. The crying child is dead. The older brother is Michael Afton. His guilt defines the rest of his life. The nightmares experienced during the nights of Five Nights at Freddy's 4 are punishment. The nightmare animatronics represent fear, guilt, and the bite itself. Nightmare Fredbear is not just a monster. He is the bite of 83 made flesh. The Fredbear plush remains one of the franchise's greatest mysteries, but one phrase echoes throughout the series: "I will put you back together." William becomes obsessed with undoing death. Michael spends his existence trying to fix what he broke. The bite of 83 and the bite of 87 are not the same event. The victim died. It involved Fredbear and Springlock failure. The bite of 87 happened years later. The bite of 83 breaks the Afton family. It pushes William toward obsession and murder. It drives Michael toward guilt and redemption. It lays the groundwork for Golden Freddy's mystery and for every supernatural event that follows. Before missing children, before possession, before the purple guy, there was a frightened child and a prank that went too far. The bite of 83 is not just lore, it is Five Nights at Freddy's.